Hello friend, it's Mark out on the back 40, and in this episode it is mid-December here in the west side of Michigan. I'm getting back out on the property for the first time since Labor Day, and what I'm doing is refreshing the batteries in all the game cameras. So I'm going to do an update on Cuddeback game cameras. I've owned them for about 5 years now, and then I'll do Bushnell. They have a new series, the A20 series, and I've used those for 1 year now, so I'm just going to do an update on each of those for you. Well, so while I'm standing right here, there's one of the new Bushnell cameras, the A20. So let's talk about those for a second. I had the first couple of generations of Bushnell game cameras, and we're going back 12, 15 years from the first one. There no cell signal in those. Those are the kind you got to go grab the card out of them. And then they came out with a cell signal one that would send it to your phone. And I bought that, and that one's probably 10 years ago. And the technology in that has gone obsolete. It was on a 3G network, and now everything's 4G, 5G. Like you look at your phone right now, it'll save a little 4G right there, or 5G. Those old Bushnells were 3G. They went out, phased out, can't do them anymore. So they made me a deal to buy some of their new cameras right here, the A20s, that are 4G and 5G and that kind of stuff. So I bought 3 of those last year, and I used them all this season. And I was kind of excited about it. I was really looking forward to it because I had such great luck with the other ones. And I was expecting the same with this one, but unfortunately that's not how it turned out. So, you know, the cameras, I'll do the good part first because I hate being negative all the time. The cameras are daytime, they do great. They do really good in the daytime. They take good, solid, crisp pictures. The app on the phone is pretty good. It's user-friendly. Yeah, it works pretty good. It's pretty easy to understand, and the user interface is kind of cool. So some of the issues that I've had, though, I think is probably more important, because if you're trying to decide if you want to go with these A20s, you know, I've just got to be honest with you and tell you what's going on so you can make your decision. The 3 that I have, and I'm just talking about the 3 that I have, and I'll also say this before I go into this too much. This is like early in their manufacturing and production of these. It's almost like a car. Like if you buy a car, you don't always want to buy the first model year of a new remodel because there's problems with them, right? Like they'll figure out in manufacturing, they'll get feedback from all of us out in the field, and we take them to the mechanic, and all the mechanics send all their information back to the manufacturer, and then they go through the data and they figure out, oh my gosh, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, and they fix it over time. The same thing might be true of those Bushnell cameras that I'm going to talk about right now. But the first generation, the ones that are out right now, a few issues. Number one, again, I've got 3 cameras. 2 of them had moisture penetrate and get on the lens and make it so that for about 6 or 8 weeks, I couldn't use the pictures because moisture got in the lens. So that's number one. And so you're like, well, why didn't you go out and do something about it? Because I don't go on the property after Labor Day. If you watch the channel, you already know this. From Labor Day until today, which is mid-December, I have not been on the property except to recover deer. Other than that, no, you stay off. So that's why I didn't go to the cameras to try to fix them or figure out what was going on. Number 2 issue I have is nighttime pictures. Basically, I would say nighttime pictures with these is completely useless. Now, I might have a setting wrong on them somewhere, but I could not find anything in the software or in the camera itself that let me change the sensitivity or the whatever I would need to do to try to tweak some settings to make the flash go farther and to make it work. It just doesn't work, like not at all. Every time I see a picture, it's pretty much at nighttime, it's just black. So I don't even bother with it. The other issue that, again, I could not find a setting for this, and maybe there's one somewhere. So if you like Bushnell and you're thinking about Bushnell, you know, maybe see if you can find this or call them or something. But there wasn't a setting for, like, if it's a real hot day and there's a wind and so it's moving branches around, or it's moving, you know, some of this sorghum and stuff around, it was starting to trip the sensor on the camera. And so all of a sudden I'd get 150 pictures for an hour of stuff just flopping in the wind. and I could not find a setting to reduce that so that you wouldn't get that false tripping. So that's kind of a pain in the butt too. So those are kind of the main issues. So Mark, would you buy Bushnell cameras again? These Bushnell cameras right now? I would say no. I wouldn't. I would use Cuddeback, and because I have 5+ years of experience with Cuddeback, so actually I got a Cuddeback over here. Let's move on to Cuddeback update. I have to say it feels very strange being after 3.5 months since, like I said, Labor Day, being out on the property now feels kind of strange. I feel like I'm not supposed to be here or something. But you can see right over my shoulder right here is one of the Cuddebacks that I have. And so if you care, here's the setup. Here's why I have it here. There's a water hole. There's a licking branch right here. So, and our north blind is right behind me. So that's why we have this here. So anyway, so let's talk about the Cuddeback a second. So Cuddeback, I did a review on Cuddebacks maybe 2 years ago, and I had those cameras for 2 or 3 years at that time. So I've had them maybe this is the 5th season, something like that. And the first batch that I got, and you can go back and watch that video, it's still a valid video. I had some challenges with a couple of the cameras that I got. I had 4 cameras plus a cell camera, so 5 total. 5 total cameras, 1 cell, 4 not cell. Those 4 not cell signal, they communicate to the cellular signal one with their own proprietary communication channel, and then that 1 cell signal sends it to the internet, to me, to phones, email, and that kind of stuff. So you probably already know that part about Cuddeback. That's kind of that's a pretty cool feature. 1 cell plan, 1 cell phone, 1 cell camera that you have to keep the batteries fresh in. Anyways, I'll move on. The problems that I had mostly were with the cell camera at first. I think I went through 2 different times. I had to send it back to them. They sent me a new one. I sent it back to them. They sent me a new one because the cards kept going bad. And then they discontinued that line of the cell camera, and they used a different line. So they sent me one of those other ones. That one has been solid ever since I got it. I also, out of the 4 other cameras that I got when I first purchased them, I think maybe 3 of them I had to end up sending back for some reason or another and got one back. But now I think it's been 2 full seasons now that I have not had one issue with the Cuddeback system. So I feel like maybe they had a bad batch go through, or they updated some design flaws, and they kind of tweaked it and they got it dialed in really good now. And I would say I have been completely satisfied with the Cuddeback system this year and last year. So if somebody were to ask me, Mark, would you buy Cuddeback for your system? Yes, I would right now. Based on what I know right now, yes, I would. They're pretty reliable. They take good nighttime pictures. Battery life is okay. They have solar options that if you don't want to ever have to change batteries, you can do that. They have some mounting brackets, some variety of mounting brackets. They've been around long enough. They're big enough that there's some third-party stuff you can find that help mount them, and I think I like it. The app on your phone it works. It's a little clunky compared to other ones. It's not super pretty and real smooth looking. It's kind of clunky, but it does work, and it gives you the option to change things. And then the menu on the actual camera itself is very thorough, and you can change a lot of things, a lot of settings. You can really, really dial it in, which I think is a big plus, especially after this year when I did the Bushnell. They don't have hardly any settings. I appreciate the fact that you do have settings now with these, and it's pretty easy to figure out. If I can figure it out, pretty much anybody can figure it out. So I like the Cuddeback. The nighttime pictures are really good. Like, it takes it from a distance. There are probably other brands that are better, but you know, should I say this or not? I guess I'm going to say it. Yeah, what the heck. So let's talk about nighttime pictures a second. So some of you are going to be offended by this and upset by this. And I would say the level of your insecurity is to what degree you'll be mad and how long you'll be mad at me. But when I was earlier in my career of hunting, I would get a picture of a nice buck at nighttime, you know, maybe 1, 2 in the morning. I think, oh man, this is great. Look at this. I'm getting big bucks on the property. But you know what? The honest truth is, I want you to really think about this if you haven't already. A lot of you already have, but some of you haven't. Nighttime pictures are useless. They don't mean a thing. Actually, nighttime pictures of a nice buck are a negative, I would say. Because what that means is that buck is not on your property during huntable hours. You'll never be able to get a shot at that buck. He's not there. If you keep getting a picture of nice bucks at midnight or 10 in the morning, 10 at night or 3 in the morning, you got to throw those away. Don't even save those. You shouldn't even save those. This is just my opinion. They fool you. They fool you into thinking that you've got your property to a point where you're going to get a chance at a nice big buck. And that's probably not what's going to happen. What your goal should be is to get pictures of those deer during daylight, during hunting hours. That's the only time it really counts, right? It only counts if you're getting pictures of them during huntable hours, because you can't shoot something at 1 in the morning legally. So you need to tweak your property, get the cover good, get the food good, get the pressure way down so that they feel comfortable during daylight. When you start getting pictures of deer, especially nicer bucks, moving on your property during daylight, now you got something. Now you got something where those cameras are really going to help you, because you can say, hey, I got this buck moving up in this area of the property right around 4 o'clock every afternoon. Now you can surgically go in and take him out when the wind is right. So that's kind of what we are doing around here now. Finally got the property to the point in my mind, my own mind and thought process, to the point where I throw away nighttime pictures. I mean, they're entertaining, right? It's kind of cool to see like some big buck or a couple big bucks come through. But I learned over time that I'm just fooling myself. I need to work harder. If those bucks are only here at night, I need to work harder. And I'm suggesting the same to you. So you can be upset with me. You can be kind of pissed off. You can be a little bit offended by that. But I hope what happens in time is you sit there and stew and you're mad and you're thinking about this, that your insecurity doesn't get in the way of opening up your mind and your ego and saying, you know what? That is a good point. I think I need to work on that. What do I need to do to get them moving on my property in the daytime and not nighttime? Okay, enough of that. Wow, how did I get off on that? I'm sorry. Anyways, I think I'm done with the cameras. If you have questions on them, throw them in the comments below and I'll answer them. Otherwise, to sum it up, Bushnell, I would pass the way they are right now. Cuddeback, I have come around to them more than I was 2-3 years ago. I like them now. If I were to make a new investment, knowing what I know now, I would do the Cuddeback. All right, thanks guys, see ya.